Shalom Akim, Wa Akwatiam. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Akakodash. I'd like to proceed this lesson with giving double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do real well and teach well, man. You know, I'm doing in transit right now. You know, and I want to open up with this precept right here. It's going to be a little quick one. You know, Lord's will, this lesson is edifying to the elect, man, the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, man. This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 12, and it reads, "Fight the good fight of faith, lay hold on to eternal life, whereunto thou art also called and has professed a good profession before many witnesses." And you know, this is we're fighting this good fight of faith, man. You know, holding on to, our faith, man, through trials and tribulations, temptations that we go through, man. You know, got this precept right here. Salakia. Hey, Karlai Bashim Yashai had escaped from my mind. Shaitan be working overtime. But hey, Karlai Bashim Yashai is the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 1, and it reads, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thyself for temptation." And in this walk, man, we're gonna, go through a lot of different types of temptations, man. Different types of tribulations that we may go through, trials and tribulations, but when we are in those, brought to a lower state, let me get that one too real quick, man. All right, it's the book of Sirach. It's the same one. Call it Bashim Yashai. Let me just read this one then. It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2, verse 1. I read from the top and I read on down. It says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thyself for temptation." It reads, "Set thy heart aright." And heart in the Hebrew is la'ab, man. In the Paleo Hebrew, in the Lashon Kodash. It says, "Set thy heart aright," which heart means your mind, man. And it reads, "And constantly endure and make not haste in time of trouble." When we go through these, these trials, tribulations, and temptations, man, hey, don't add unto, unto the trouble, man. It says right here, "And make not haste in time of trouble," man. It reads, verse 3, "Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end." Cleave unto him, which means cleave unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. That we may be able to escape the wiles of the devils, man. Ephesians 6:12, man. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, man. This is a spiritual thing, man. Always pray those demons away, fast those demons away, man. Talking to myself first and foremost. Because this is a real thing, man. I just want to add a point too, man. I've never gotten, a sleep paralysis ever in my life until I've came into this truth, man. And I've been battling that demon heavily lately, man. Motherfuckers don't want to let me sleep at night. Always trying to get me spooked in the flesh. Hey, but we know what time it is, man. Hey, call Halal Yom Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. This is all for a reason, man. And a good reason, man. I believe so, and I know so, man. And it reads, let's start at verse 3. Ecclesiasticus 2 and 3, "Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end." Verse 4, "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a low state." Whenever we go through certain things, man, hey, we got to be patient, man. Whenever we're brought low, whenever we're, feeling effed up in the flesh, man, beat down by life, man. Because Babylon the Great, Hey, Babylon the Great is hell, man. You know, let me get this precept. Salakia. Is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 25, and it reads, "And he spake great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High." And the, you know, let me brief. Let's see if I can get some more here real quick. Daniel chapter 7. I'll just go at verse 25, and it reads, "And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High." It's talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, which, he's the ruler of the world right now, man. And in Babylon, which is America, which is Babylon the Great, hey, the saints are being worn out here, man. We're, subject under payments, brothers doing laborious work. Ain't no rest for us, man. And it reads, I'm going to read it again. "And he spake great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and the times and the dividing of time," man. Esau Edom is doing his number on us, man. But ultimately, how about Shemi Al-Shai? This is our punishment, man. This is our judgment for turning our back against the Most High, how about Shemi Al-Shai, man. This is Ecclesiasticus 2:5, and it reads, "For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity." We're being tried as gold in the fire, man. To be acceptable, in the eyes of the Habba Shemi Al-Shai, and it's going into, gold being tried in the fire, which what is the fire? What does gold, what does fire do to gold, when it's in that fire, man? It burns off the impurities, man. And that's what we should be doing, in this truth, man. If the brothers are in the truth, man, in the camp, following the doctrine of GMS, man. I'm not in the camp of GMS, but I follow, and I follow the doctrine of the apostles and elders at GMS, man. And we got to be putting off the old man, and renewing our mind. Renewing our mind, man. In this truth, man. Burning off those old impurities. Putting off old habits. Learning this truth, man. Gaining the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the truth, man. Learning from Apostle